Welcome out to the Nerd Fake Podcast. We are on episode number 48. I am one of your hosts, Dustin Vancouver, joined by my buddies
Malcolm Morgan,
Mason Ireland,
Nikki Prindle,
and
Olaf with Anime Haus.
Yes. Welcome to the show, sir.
Why, thank you. It's good to be here.
Excellent.
Thanks for having me.
I'm actually going to let Mason open up this one because you're more associated with Olaf, and he can start our questioning. Maybe we can build off of that. So
okay. Well, while I was heading to work, all of a sudden I noticed this new store going in the strip I work in, and it said Anime Haus, and I was like, well, wow, okay,
you're like right by my house then.
Yeah,
that's exciting,
right? Yeah. Basically, just if you can hop over the mall somehow and avoid that evil place.
Get one of those gyrocopters. From
I was just thinking
Guy.
I should probably get a drone and just like.
I'm thinking mini nuke.
No mini nukes.
Take out the whole mall.
Oh, taking out the mall.
Just level it so you can.
Oh, by the way, we also lose track.
Just keep it to like a half-kilometer radius, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually about what we usually do. Yeah.
So yeah, and then after it opened up, went over and checked it out, and saw Olaf, who I had seen at a few cons, and was like, "Cool."
That's where I know your face.
Yeah,
I was like, I've seen him around here somewhere, and I can't remember what it was. So I think it was probably from cons.
Yep.
So,
Very
cool.
At that, basically, go to the first question of why, and how did you guys decide to go from just doing cons to opening up the store?
Well, it was something we'd been asked to do for a long time. Everyone had always been begging us to open a store, and we've been doing conventions in Boise for a little over 5 years now. The owner, Brian, I met him at Anime Oasis about 2 years ago. Started doing conventions with him and working for him, and now we've gotten really close. He loves Boise. The Boise conventions have always been his favorite, and obviously my favorite. The deciding factor was really kind of a dare, actually. It really was. It boiled down to like a dare between us. It's like, are we actually going to go ahead and do this? We decided one day, and we discussed it, and then we said, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let's try to get a store open by Black Friday. And we didn't get it open by Black Friday, but December 13th, we had our store open, and there were still boxes everywhere, which I apologize for. It's proven to be quite the challenge, but every day I get to see all of the people that I see at conventions, and it's been absolutely worth it every step of the way.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what was your inspiration starting from the cons up till now? Like, what even at the con stage, what made you start getting into doing that kind of thing at cons?
For me, it really boils down to I was sort of tricked into doing this sort of business. Brian, the owner, was at Anime Oasis, would have been 2 years ago now, and a staff member came up, a friend of mine, said, hey, there's a dealer down in the dealer's hall who really needs some help. He's understaffed. He's wondering if you'd be willing to help out. And I went down, was introduced, had a great time, got to talk to everybody as we vended in the dealer's hall. And then a couple months later, he just calls me up out of the blue and says, hey, I need some help with another convention I'm doing. So I called work, let them know I wasn't going to be coming in for the next couple days, and I've never regretted it since.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, so far, I know you haven't been doing the store very long, but how is the feel of having the retail location compared to just being at the cons?
There's a lot of more time to breathe, which can be a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, I feel like there's something I should be doing.
You got time to lean, you got time to clean, boy.
Exactly. A lot of times with the conventions, it's basically you roll up and you just don't stop going until like the very end.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize exactly how much effort goes into it. We, unlike a lot of dealers, do tend to drive to all of our locations. A lot of vendors I've noticed like to especially if it's a long distance con, fly out there.
Yeah.
We've always been about going all out on everything, and we have a large truck which we take with us everywhere we go, so that we can carry all of our walls and all of our products. So we'll load it up. We will drive out, sometimes without sleep, which is always a fun adventure. There's lots of Red Bull and weird weather and detours, and then we get there, we tear everything out, set up, start selling, get to know people, and then get a few hours of sleep and do it again and repeat until the last day of the convention, pack up, and leave. With a store, it's more of a constant evolution. I have a lot more time to think about exactly how to set everything up, more so to the benefit of the fans themselves. I always wanted the store to be a really special place for the fans, less so about actually, getting sales, and have more time to be able to, chat with people and display things to people in a way that makes it special to them.
Nice. Yeah. I remember back in the dark ages, many decades ago. I used to work at a comic book store back when I lived in California, and we went out and we did comic cons back when comic cons were about comic books.
Those days.
Yeah, back
really
in those
long
days.
time ago.
Yeah,
It's pre-internet?
not technically.
Back when the King of Hell wasn't yelling at you.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah, jeez. But I have to say that, it's kind of that, it was for me, it was like kind of that same experience where, the store, everything was nice and we had it set up well. We were constantly moving things a little bit to just try to figure out things a little bit better, make the layout just, hopefully a little nicer for people. And like with a comic book store, one of our things was always, when people came in, like, we had our regulars who they knew what they wanted. They had their boxes that they picked up every month. No big deal. But like when someone new who was just getting into comics walked in, that was always really exciting to us because, we kind of got to, it was usually a little overwhelming for them, admittedly, but we got to go, these are our favorites. And
Read them all right now. Tell us what you like best.
And then like the cons were just crazy because we just basically loaded up for our backlog of comic books. Every comic book store has the bins of back stock, and we just loaded those up, got them to the con, hopefully got them in alphabetical order, and then by the end of the con, we were like, we're gonna have to take all these back and sort them because we're gonna put stuff back in the wrong spot and everything.
It never quite gets done.
Never quite gets done. Yeah, and it was always crazy. Like the cons were always just crazy. Just you never had a second to breathe, but at the same time, doing that's a lot of fun.
And that reminds me of another thing that has been completely different about being in a store, is that since, like, being next to a sushi restaurant actually has brought people in who know absolutely nothing about anime. So grandma walks in and says, "I know absolutely nothing about this, but it's absolutely fascinating. What can you tell me about it?"
Yeah.
And the first time that happened, that really caught me on the spot. It's doing conventions all the time. People know exactly what they're looking for, exactly,
Yeah, they're already in the know.
Those are your people.
But it's been a lot of fun, actually, to talk to people who are, just curious about exactly what we are.
Since you guys just opened up, do you guys have... Because now I'm kind of curious, kind of like... Because I kind of... What Mason just said kind of rung with me a little bit. So now that you guys were generally con exclusive up until December, what are the plans going forward? Trying to dual run a retail store and run conventions.
It's been quite a challenge, actually, figuring out all the details. I owe it to a lot of our friends and a lot of the con staff here to help make this possible, because there have been a couple times now I've had to depend on them to watch the store while I'm going and driving out to a convention and Brian's going out and driving to another convention, just so we can sort of juggle everything. But all the systems are slowly falling into place. We're going to have permanent employees here pretty soon, so that as we expand, we're able to juggle between everything we have going on. But there really is no other place than Boise we would have been able to do this, merely because there are so many awesome fans here that are willing to help us out, and I have to thank them for that.
Awesome. So you guys actually have just recruit people on whenever you guys are out?
We have a couple close friends we tend to depend on, but we have so many people who volunteer to help out. It's actually too much to keep up with sometimes. I have a long-running list. I'd love to have everyone on that list help me out at some point, and I hope that someday we will be able to have them all do that, especially with Anime Oasis coming up here. I'm going to be making a few phone calls to a few of those people and see if they can find some time to help us out. Maybe we'll all buy a few pizzas and share it and get some work done.
Mm-hmm. It's always the best plan. Payment and pizza is a guaranteed win.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you get paid in pizza, I wouldn't mind getting on that list.
Mike, you got anything, buddy?
Oh, yeah. Well, since it is a situation where you're in a retail store and you do have this situation where, like, people don't know what it's about and stuff like that. Also, I'm sure some of our listeners aren't, regular con goers and the like. Why don't you go ahead and give us, like, an overview of what you do sell at the store and what the store is about? Just kind of fill people in.
Our focus right now for our store is Japanese anime products. We do carry a wide variety of miscellaneous Japanese items, which can include actually items oriented to Western audiences as well. Like we'll have Disney and Marvel and DC comic-oriented items that are manufactured in Japan that are extremely high quality. Eventually, we're going to be expanding. I have thousands of old carded Marvel and DC figures in my garage right now, which I'd love to get in our little store, but there's no room. We carry a wide variety of cards, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh! We're going to be getting into Magic cards, singles is another big one. Hitting up on. Basically, I like to be the place where anyone can go and feel comfortable, just hang out and look around, have a nice chat, see something they enjoy, and if they find something they want to buy, I'd be glad to give it to them.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, because I think I've actually the only one that's been in the store.
Well, so far, yeah.
So far, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys got to go check it out. It's I notice you guys don't actually have a lot of DVDs or anything, which is totally understandable with Netflix and Crunchyroll and everything. But say someone, do you guys have access right now, or could you guys get access to if someone wants a specific special edition or something like that that isn't necessarily out yet, but they know is coming out? Do you guys have methods of ordering those or anything?
Absolutely, for the newer things.
Right.
We started the store with a decent collection that had been lightly cleaned through of a lot of vintage anime DVDs.
Yeah.
The hardest part of which has been that it's been picked cleanly through, and we haven't had much time to go hunting down a lot of those older titles.
Right.
As we're expanding, and certainly before Anime Oasis, which will be in May here,
yep.
We'll be able to order a lot more of those newer titles. If someone ever wants a newer title, they're welcome to come in. We can order it for them right now, but just due to the way things are right now, we would have to have them prepay for it. We do plan on expanding our DVD selection greatly over time.
Okay.
What would you say is some of your like best-selling stuff right now?
People love plushes and wall scrolls are probably the two best-selling ones. Keychains. Everyone needs a keychain.
Yeah.
At least one.
At least one. I have seen bowling balls of keychains hanging from purses and
Yes.
things.
Yeah, I'm
It's
guilty of
actually... I wonder what that does to your back, but...
that. I've got a tiny scooter and a giant wad of keys that just hang off.
Oh
of
my
it.
goodness.
You kind of add like a 10-degree
Yeah,
angle wherever
exactly.
you go.
Most of it's not actually keys; it's keychains.
I just hope
yeah.
they don't actually use this in their car and put this in their ignition and hope
Yeah,
that...
I
Yeah.
wonder about
Doesn't
that
break.
sometimes.
Yeah. Well, one thing I used to do back when I was in like high school and college, and I used to always carry a bag with me, was like every zipper would have some form of keychain on it. You know,
Yep.
just anime ones, comic books.
You could hear me coming down the
Yeah.
hall, jingle, jingle, jingle.
Yeah. Plus, adding length to the pole is nice because it makes it easier to grab and open things. So, yeah.
That's why, not because you wanted all the pretty toys on your
And it can
backpack.
be used for self-defense, too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And no, it's not because of the toys at all. It was totally for practical reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any like collector's items and stuff like that in your store that like might be something sought after, something that's rare?
I mean, too much to really be specific. We do have Japanese wholesale accounts, so we're able to get a lot of the things that American retailers aren't.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
We
that's
often get a lot of our things a few months before they're available in the U.S. market. We do have, handful more to name than I can remember right now. I'd have to be like looking around my store to see of older figures and items that the right collector would really be interested in, and I'd be willing to give it a very fair price.
Anything specific that catches your eye? Like when you walk in, you're like, God damn it, that would look good on my shelf.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because for me, all of those items are already on my shelf. I kept them.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. That's not going on the shelf.
Nope.
Yeah. I did that a lot when I worked at the comic book store. Awesome.
Put that right there.
Yeah, that's going in the I'm buying it today pile.
Well, one thing I would say is we do have a full case of vintage Sailor Moon items. So Sailor Moon fan definitely
Yeah,
has
did you
to
tell
check out
Heidi
our
about this
store.
place?
No, I haven't yet.
Heidi, I don't know if
Yeah.
you listen to us, but you should probably.
She
go
doesn't
there.
actually, unfortunately.
We're fighting.
Oh man, to hunt her down.
Evidently, Heidi is confused by podcasts. That's her own admission. I'm not making it up. But yeah, I'll have to kick her butt over there now that I know I heard about those. She's a huge Sailor Moon fan.
We went to high school together, and I was the only person she would let read her Sailor Moon manga. Like, she had all the original ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She even came to our 2008 Halloween party dressed as Sailor Moon.
Yep.
Yeah,
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
yeah. She's Asian too, and it works. So
Blonde wig still freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, it was a
though.
little
Yeah,
odd.
it was a little weird.
Like, go
Olaf,
ahead.
you got anything you'd like to tell us about yourself? What you like to do?
I mean, most of my time right now is tied up in the store, so I'd call that both a job and a hobby.
The best way to have it.
It's so much
Yeah.
fun. I mean, I really wanted to make it into a place where everyone can hang out and have fun, and it is, and I want it to be even more so, a place where people just come and look around and talk to people, and that's basically what's most important to me.
Yeah, so there. A couple times I've been in, it's always been like one of the things I liked was that it always did have that chill vibe. It was very laid back and relaxed, and it was just it felt like hang out for a while.
Yeah.
So to me, that's at least for me, that's kind of nice in a store, especially one that has what is all basically hobby widgets of some type, be it Anime Haus or like a gaming store or something. If it doesn't feel like I can hang out, I don't really want to shop at that store, in that way. So, So yeah, kudos to that. Just for me at least.
As a personal question, what kind of got you started in anime? Like, what was your first exposure to, like, oh my god, this is something that's awesome, and I want to follow and keep doing this?
When I was about 4 years old, I was exposed via babysitting, actually. Some Asian friends of mine, their mother babysat me, and I watched My Neighbor Totoro, I think it was. Classic.
Yes.
Well known to most American audiences. And that sort of started me down the road to opening up to it. One of the things that really got me sucked into anime is that it doesn't exactly tailor to Western audiences. Media that I find made for Western audiences, it's always has some sort of element to it that has like some sort of moral or philosophical obligation that differs itself in a way from media that wasn't made for us to actually view. It's entirely tailored for an audience that isn't ours.
Yeah.
Like you see in comic books, there's always a well-defined hero, which I love, but with anime it's different. You can find yourself thinking a little deeper into the meaning of things in a way that you normally wouldn't. You know, seeing a culture through someone else's eyes.
Yeah. That was what you brought up with the American comics, and especially the fact that in America, still unfortunately the general audience,
Yes.
the majority of people out there still view cartoons as a kids medium, whereas
Where it has to be tailored for children.
it has to be tailored for children, and even though comic books are a little bit more immune to that than say a cartoon, there's still clearly defined, this is the good guy, this is the bad guy, and the good guy has to always win. Whereas what's one of the things I like about a lot of anime is that even when you have a relatively well-defined good guy and bad guy, you don't have a guarantee the good guy's going to win. It was like, just to bring up a recent one, I'll use Attack on Titan. Hypothetically, the humans are the good guys, but there's that ambiguity in the back of the story that kind of makes you feel like humans might have done something in the past to cause the Titans to happen. And then you have you find out that there's two humans becoming Titans. Oh, spoiler alert!
Not to mention, I nearly shat myself the first time Aaron got eaten. I was like, we're only in like episode 2 or 3. What the hell just happened?
Yeah,
I haven't seen.
Sorry.
Well, I am aware these things have been going on for a very long time, and I have no right to get upset for spoilers.
But
no, exactly.
and
there's even
yeah.
philosophical debates going on online about whether or not the Titans represent some sort of evil, or whether or not they actually represent like
a cleansing force or
cleansing force or neutrality.
Yeah, and you can't have that debate or a discussion like that about most American media. And I mean, that's one of the things that I've always, that and like a lot of the irreverent humor are the things that I tend to enjoy in anime and manga. Is I like the stuff that's kind of deep and philosophical, has giant robots in it, or is just totally irreverent. Like my personal favorite is Ranma 1/2. Always has, ever since I saw the first episode of it, I was hooked, and it's still to this day my favorite anime. So I might have this is my favorite newer one right now, but when it boils down to it, it always goes back to Ranma for me for what is truly my favorite.
What about you guys? Let's see. Who's watched anime here, and what are your favorites? Let's go around.
Yeah, we've always watched that.
Well, I'll start. My first exposure to anime was not even realizing I was exposed to it. It had to be from shows like Voltron and
Robotech and
Robotech. What's the fucking samurai one?
That does not help.
Ronin
Warriors.
Ronin Warriors, and I used to watch Samurai Pizza Cats before I went to school when I was a kid. I love fucking Samurai Pizza Cats. But my first real exposure to it was I had a friend named Andy in junior high who says, you gotta check out this movie called Akira.
Oh gosh.
And I was like, it is fucking badass. You gotta check it out. It's great. So I went to the library and they had it there, and I checked it out and I was like, this is amazing. What is this? And then I went down the rabbit hole from there and started watching all the other classics like A Ghost in the Shell and Ninja Scroll. And I'll be honest, anime is not my like 100% thing. I tend to like the movies more than I like the actual TV shows. But like Attack on Titan was really good though, so I watched that through on Netflix the first season, and
we won't even get the second season until like 2016. It's gonna be sad.
Well, the rumor is it's coming out this spring, so we'll see.
Well, I thought it was this spring for Japan, wasn't? Or did they already get it?
Oh, well, I mean, if you're looking for the dub, then you'll probably have to wait an indefinite amount of time. But the sub is supposed to be launching.
They only seem to put the subs on Netflix.
In the spring. So,
okay.
So I haven't gotten quite caught up on that rumor, but everyone, go to the internet right now and check it out.
But yeah, that would have to be like my first exposure. If I had to pick a favorite, like I really like Ghost in the Shell. As a movie, like it is like one of my absolute favorite movies to watch. I can always fall back on it and watch it and just be like, "This is awesome."
Definitely a classic.
Did see Rise Above, right?
Right? No, what is that?
No, I think
it's 3 or 4 episodes. It's new. It's a new Ghost in the Shell.
It's like
I know there's like the
prequel to Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
is it a movie?
It's on Netflix.
Or there's like 3 episodes.
Oh,
it's like 3 or 4 episodes long.
Yeah,
it's very short.
Oh, so it's like how they do Sherlock, where they're like an hour and a half a piece or something.
Basically,
yeah.
No, maybe it was.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, when I was a kid, I know. Yeah, it was
and
like,
sorry.
go ahead.
And I was also gonna say, as far as Ghost in the Shell, you guys heard rumor, fucking, they're doing a movie here based on it with
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I still object to ScarJo. Not that I object to ScarJo, because I think she did just fine as Black Widow. She could pull off an action character.
Well, she did the fucking crazy 99% brain movie.
I
what was
haven't seen
that?
that yet. It's
I can't remember the name of it now, but like her brain opens up.
Oh,
and she
one
gets
movie,
superpowers.
yes.
Huh?
That one movie. Yes.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah,
But
it looked good.
Lucy.
Yeah,
That's it.
But yeah, but I was like, but the thing is that like even like ignoring like Lucy Liu and I just forgot her name. She does a lot of movies with Jackie Chan.
Oh. Did she do Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh?
Michelle Yeoh. Even ignoring Lucy Liu and Michelle Yeoh, I went out and I hunted down. It took me 5 minutes total. I found a Chinese actress, a Korean actress, and a Japanese actress who all do action movies, who all speak English. Why can't they make Kusanagi an Asian woman? That's
because we like revamping things and making them shitty.
Which is weird, because
As
that's
long as
actually
it
going to
doesn't
kind of...
as long as it doesn't turn into another Dragon Ball, that's like
yeah,
that's the big one.
Did you see that? Did you see the online, the one they just did? Like, they just put up a fan film of Dragon Ball Light of Life.
I
or
have
something
not
like
seen
that.
that.
It's fucking awesome. It's like Gohan and Trunks and Goku's already dead, and they just do a thing, and it's amazing. They fight Android 17 and 18. Anyway, go.
Yeah, it's like the future version.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome if you haven't seen it.
Okay, so yeah, of course, when I was a kid, saw Voltron and Robotech and those shows on there. I think my first actual exposure to anime was going to Hastings, and they had this one section of animations from Japan, and it's like, oh hey, it's kind of like the Robotech and stuff that I used to watch, and got like I'm trying to remember which ones it was, like Project ACO. God, I can't even remember the names of it. It's been so long.
For those under the age of 20 who are listening right now, back in the day, Hastings used to make most of their money off rentals, which is what we did before Netflix.
Which is weird, because Hastings right now is like...
It's like all merch.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's just all merch.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've still got the video section, and every once in a while you see like a grandma looking through it because she
It's like
doesn't know
a
how to
Soviet
stand it.
Union rack of DVDs. is
Yeah,
what it looks like.
yeah. And then the please buy these. They're only 3 for $10.
And they got
Please take them. Please.
They got a great used book selection there too that you can get on the cheap. So
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Well,
they do.
after I had rented all of them and seen them all, like, a couple times, kind of hit a wall there, and entered Jake, who had a whole bunch of stuff that he pirated from Japan.
Yes.
Jake, the
So-
same interview from last week?
Yes.
Jake? Yeah.
So that's how I got introduced to Ranma. Is he had like actual VHS recordings that he got from a friend in China or in Japan. Sorry. So I didn't even have like subs or translation. I had to have them explain to me what the hell was going on.
He just watched it enough to be able to.
Yeah. So that was always fun. And nowadays, well, lately I've gotten myself kind of hooked on Fairy Tail.
Oh my goodness! I
Yeah,
love Fairy Tail.
I got to the first season and I was kind of like, hey, this is fun, and it just sucked me in, and I'm still going.
Awesome.
I think what else? Well, I just found out Durarara has a second season.
Yep.
How was that again?
Durarara.
Okay.
Or
I just really wanted to make you say it again.
Yeah, because I had the first season and it ended, and I was kind of like, that so needs to continue. What the hell? And then I found out, oh, hey, they did continue it, so I was happy. Yeah, who else?
Let's see. My start was Voltron, Robotech, stuff they started bringing over to America and dubbing poorly.
Those were all part of the Saturday morning cartoon lineup. That's why I didn't do them.
Yeah. Dubbing poorly. Rehashing the stories poorly.
Just get the subtitles and read it, people.
Yeah.
It's better.
Edited for content.
It is.
Too bad. Just read it and be happy.
And then, like, after those, I didn't think much about it for a couple of years, and then I made some friends who happened to own a comic book store that I eventually started working at, as previously mentioned. And so they were always screening anime to see if they wanted to carry it in the store or what section they should put it in. Because a lot of the anime at the time, unless they were obviously for kids, weren't really, or obviously X-rated. There was that gray area where they were kind of making judgments on, are we going to call this R, PG-13, or G, basically. So I just started watching all kinds of stuff. And, like I said, I fell in love with Ranma. And, there was other stuff like, Ghost in the Shell and Appleseed and,
Yashiro.
yeah, Yashiro. Bubblegum Crisis was one. I had a friend who was totally obsessed with Bubblegum Crisis.
Wasn't Bubblegum
Wait,
Crisis
wasn't that right?
westernized with Adam Warren as the artist later?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Adam Warren's an
They may
amazing
have
anime artist.
Tried something.
Yeah.
I know there was
There was Crisis and Crash.
Crisis Crash, and then there was something else they tried to
Yeah.
make, which I think is what Dee's talking about.
Okay.
He did a set of comic books here. He also did. The only reason I know him as an artist because he also guest drew a couple of Gen 13 like miniseries. Like it was like a 4 comic book series, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, I just and I started kind of not realizing they were actually connected at the time. I actually started picking up some different manga, which I can't even remember what they are anymore. But it was like I didn't realize that these manga were from Japan because when they were still flipping everything. So when you bought them in America, so you flipped through them like a normal Western book.
Left to right
Instead, yeah, and but I didn't really realize they were from Japan. I just thought someone was kind of borrowing the style because, again, they were Americanizing the stories back then, which I'm really glad they have stopped for the most part doing that. And then I just I've never stopped watching them since. And let's say right now I'm in the middle of Gurren Lagann, Sword Art Online 2, and Kill la Kill. So,
Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
That's another one I want to start watching. I think I added it to my. I
It's
think they
good.
just added
Do
it to
it.
Netflix, right?
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they and I did watch Sword Art Online. That's really good too.
Yeah. So I'm kind of in the middle of all three of them, and just watching episodes here and there when I can. But yeah, been spending most of my time running around in giant stompy robots, aka MechWarrior Online. So hard to watch an anime and read it at the same time as trying to pay attention to a screen. So. And yes, I prefer to read my comics or my cartoons. So
I saw Sailor Moon when it came over here when I was in like high school, and I liked it, but I didn't realize what it was. It was just like a cool cartoon, but it was a little weird, but I liked it because I was in the X-Men cartoon too, so like weird superpower shit I was kind of used to, and I didn't really think about it again. And then Heidi, after high school, like, she let me borrow her Sailor Moon manga because I liked the show when we were in high school. And then after high school, she decided it was her goal in life to get me into anime. And so we watched, like, Fooly Cooly, which is my favorite. Mm-hmm. I need to buy that. My downstairs neighbor owns the box set. I'm going to go steal it from him.
Do it.
I'm going to. Jacob, I know you listen to this. Wait, I shouldn't warn him. Damn it!
See, but now you just wait a little while till you think he is not expecting it anymore, and then you get it. Of course, we just warned him about that plot, too.
Damn it!
Just kick in the door. No one expects a Spanish Inquisition, and you walk out with it.
Which may actually stop him long enough.
If I wear a plague mask.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. But so we watched Pre-Tier and Blue Seed and... yeah, Fooly Cooly and a bunch of other stuff I can't even remember because some of the stuff she was showing me was so weird that I couldn't even handle it.
Cat Soup.
I don't think I've seen that one.
But we know someone who has it. We can show it to you.
That's okay.
That's one of those brain reprogramming cartoons.
My brain needs to not be reprogrammed until the semester's over. Then we'll talk. But then I worked out at Game World for 3 years, and one of the guys that worked there was absolutely obsessed with anime, and he would have me over there, and he showed me Fruits Basket.
Fruits Basket is so neat. I like that. So nice.
Absolutely loved, and then got me really into, like, I'd known about Studio Ghibli. Like, my brother and I watched Spirited Away a lot, and we'd, like, this was back... we would rent it on VHS, and we'd, like, rewind, because we didn't have a DVD player yet.
Rewind.
Exactly. We'd rewind, and we would watch that part where she runs down the stairs and loses control and face plants. I can't even handle it just talking about it. And we would just watch that part over and over and laugh our asses off. And I really liked that movie, but I hadn't seen... like, I'm an animation nerd. I've got a friend that works out at Leica, and, like, I'm into this stuff. But I'd never really... gotten into it, and then we watched Totoro and
Princess Mononoke,
and Howl's Castle, and like all this other stuff, and it's pretty cool. But as far as the shows go, there's just so much content that it's really hard to figure out where to get into stuff. So I don't know if I ever will, but every once in a while I'll try and watch a series, and I'll be like, oh, this is partway through it, and there's things that I'm missing, and I don't know why are there... okay, so that happened. Like, it's... yeah.
The best way to do a series is find a new one that looks like something you might be interested that's coming out.
I want to watch that one with the pirate kid that looks weird.
One Piece?
That's One Piece.
Yeah, that one looks
it's only like episode, like,
brace yourself.
300?
Yeah, it's going to be a long drive.
Yeah.
Start Fairy Tale as your gateway.
Okay. Is that the one
what,
with
200?
Yeah, only
the weird
200
cat
something.
thing?
Blue cat.
Yeah. Somebody had me draw that at one of the cons. With the wings, right?
Happy.
That was Pandemonium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was,
Pandemonium.
yeah. It was Pandemonium.
I wasn't at Pandemonium, so...
Dope.
Yes.
You're mentioning about the getting in the anime in the middle of the series and stuff. Kind of reminded me of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I've seen the movie, but I haven't watched the series.
You gotta watch the series.
Yeah.
You gotta watch
I want to.
Cowboy Bebop's only 23 episodes.
Well,
24.
I'll put it this way, because I don't want to do it as a spoiler. I saw the very last episode first.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So I get to the very end of the last episode, and I'm just like, what the hell? And then the next one turned out as the first episode, and I was like, oh, god damn it.
I've watched a little bit of Trigun, and I liked
another good
that.
Oh, yeah, I love
And
Trigun.
then what's the one with the guy? Oh, God. Castle Cagliostro or something like that.
Lupin the Third.
Yeah,
Lupin,
that guy. Yeah. I watched one of the movies with him, and then I was like, oh, there's a series too, and that I'd like to watch that because I liked his character a lot. But
Lupin.
Yeah. I would say also for any of the newer, or I guess say younger anime fans, or newer, even if you're older and just getting into it.
I know all the stuff I'm mentioning is like.
Oh no, what I want to say is, don't be afraid of going back and finding some of the older stuff. Yeah, the animation may not be as good, especially if you're looking at stuff from the 60s and 70s, but some of those are just classic stories that are worth watching. And yeah.
Can we all just appreciate Fooly Cooly for a second, though? Because, like,
If you're looking for a good short watch, Fooly Cooly is definitely the way to go.
It
However,
will
you-
melt
6
your brain.
episodes.
You also kind of have to
Appreciate.
appreciate surrealism in a really big way.
Which
Yes.
I really do. And I saw somebody was riding a yellow scooter and it had FLCL as
Yes,
the license
I've seen
plate.
that scooter
And I
before.
was in my car and I pulled up next to him. I was like, I like your license plate. Like, total creep. He was like, you're the first person that said anything. Thanks. I'm like, I feel like we should be friends.
He's got to ride around with a guitar.
I know, I want to hit people with a guitar so bad. It's snowing.
I remember I caught Fooly Cooly like right in the middle of an episode once where with trying to figure out what was going on.
Oh, yeah, no,
And-
even if you watch it all the way
No,
through.
at first fine. All the way through, you would have been doing the same
Well, my
thing.
first question is, why is this weird supernatural lady trying to like cock tease this 10-year-old boy? Like,
Because she thinks it's funny,
Yeah.
basically.
that's just weird.
All the women in that series do that to that poor kid.
That's true. Yeah,
Have you watched it all the way through?
I haven't seen it front to back, but I think I've seen at least every episode partially once.
That's okay. It doesn't make much more sense that way.
No, but you gotta watch it all the way through.
I love the music in Fooly Cooly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pillows, right? Isn't that
Pillows,
it?
yep.
Yeah, I've got some other stuff because of that. Like, that was the one that I really got into. I think I've seen Fooly Cooly all the way through a dozen times, probably, because I like it so much.
Pretty much every Gainax studio anime I would recommend.
Yeah.
My
Glad we
very
did that.
first anime I saw all the way through was Neon Genesis Evangelion. Another absolute classic that they're still making movies for. So
Yeah. Well, what surprises me is like you'll still see people cosplaying characters from Eva at cons, and it's just like,
and they have no idea.
yeah. Some of them don't. Some of them, they've gone
Some of
back.
them
They've
know
watched the whole thing all the way through, every episode, every movie, and they know it. But yeah,
See, I wish that some of our cartoons, like our Western cartoons, would go on forever like animes seem to. Like,
well, there's also a lot of
There's-
animes
oh.
that only last one season, and
yeah, I
that's
know.
all they're intended for.
But there's a lot of things where I'm like, I wish this could go on forever, and then it ends, and then you're sad.
You're just talking about X-Men, aren't you?
Maybe.
Simpsons has kind of gone on
up.
forever,
I was about
That's
to say,
true.
Simpsons, we still have The Simpsons.
Yeah.
We do still have The Simpsons.
and Family Guy,
South Park.
South Park.
I don't like South Park that much.
I remember, like,
Shitty animation bothers me.
decade ago, there was a Simpsons they had where they did this music video for "They'll Never Stop the Simpsons."
Yeah.
We'll
And
have
it's
stories for years.
Yeah,
Something, something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
It's still going. Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is.
Hey, as long as it still makes ratings.
I still think it's funny. It's when I catch it, enjoyable.
Yeah, that's the thing with Simpsons nowadays is it's a when I catch it or
Because we're usually doing this every other week, and then on the weekends we're not doing this. I tend to.
well, it's like occasionally I'll be watching like something on Hulu like Arrow or one of my superhero shows, and then the next thing that'll pop up is a Simpsons episode. And I'll be like, sure, I'll watch an episode of The Simpsons, but
It's the only time you watch it is not on purpose. Okay,
Yeah.
here's a question I have for you guys. I noticed that Hulu has a lot of anime. Like, a lot. To the point where I feel like the ratings that they have that say that all of them are good can't be accurate. Like, are there any that you would recommend
The
avoiding?
ones on Hulu in general are the more popular ones.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just was going
Although-
through one day and I was like, holy
I would
shit,
highly
that's a
recommend
lot.
checking the episode list before you go and watch them, though. I made this mistake with Fairy Tail. Because you got like the first season or two of Fairy Tail, and then there's a whole season that's missing.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to go like on Crunchyroll and
Yeah.
try and backtrack them and find them, and it was just really annoying.
Yeah. Better place to just go. Just if you want to watch anime, skip Hulu, skip Netflix, just go straight to Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Even with a few, there's like sometimes you do have to scour the internet for the source. Like
Yeah.
especially with Fairy Tail in particular. It's like you have to find at least 2 sources in order to be able to watch every episode. And you always want to make sure that you're watching season 1 because sometimes they'll only have season 2.
Yeah.
If there's an anime that you really seem like you're interested in, hit up the internet, watch out for spoilers, and do your research, and just make sure you start at a point where everyone recommends you start.
Yeah.
Or don't, and find out whether or not you like it.
Yeah.
It's up
And
to you.
learn why they recommended the other part.
You'll probably end up watching the rest anyways, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I was also
there's
going to
this
say, occasionally, don't be afraid to jump in. Just find
It's
find
just
one and go for it. And
intimidating,
see.
the amount of content out there.
Well, that's why
Like-
if you find one that you think you might like, watch
Yeah.
the first few episodes. Always give it at least 3 episodes, at least.
depending on the length of the season, I would say 4 or 5.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
a lot of animes that really pick up at episode 4
Yeah.
or 5.
Like the Witchblade animation it took me like 3 episodes
Wait,
to really
okay,
get
did
into
you
it.
read the comic? Was it as good as the comic?
It's nothing like the comic.
Oh, I got really
Other than
excited for a second.
other than the actual superpower of the Witchblade, the storyline is absolutely nothing like
Completely
the
different.
Yeah, it's its own
Interesting.
adaptation of whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty.
Might
It's
check that
pretty
out
awesome.
anyways, because that was my gateway comic. Was
on
Witchblade. Witchblade and Fathom.
Fathom was awesome.
Fathom was awesome. Didn't know water could do those things, but apparently it can.
Yeah. Well, I recently was kind of just looking around on Crunchyroll trying to find something new to watch. I think it was called like Terra Mars or Terraformers.
Terraformers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Giant cockroach people on Mars. that
Alrighty.
run around
Sounds
and kill
good.
everybody. I was just like, I got into like 2 or 3 episodes, and it was just like, okay, there's just too much of these guys getting their asses handed to them. I'm done. It's too much for me.
See, and I'm sitting here thinking
It was
that
an
sounds
interesting.
kinda cool.
It's an interesting story, but it was just so
Didn't suck you in
much
exactly.
people
Yeah.
getting just like, yeah, it's just really bad. Like people are just totally getting wasted and killed, and you're getting up front and close and everything, and so I was just kind of like burnt out by the time I got that far in.
How about this? Is there anything that you in the anime realm you don't enjoy?
Anime I don't enjoy. Of the ones that I've actually watched and watched all the way through, I can't say there were any that I didn't find anything entirely enjoyable about them. There have been a couple that I've started that I just I got halfway through an episode and I said, this is absolutely not for me. I couldn't get into Ruby, a popular one out there.
Yes,
from,
I haven't
Rooster
started Ruby
Teeth.
yet. Yeah.
And I absolutely loved Red vs. Blue and
Red Blue.
Dead Fantasy, but I just could not sit down and watch Ruby.
What's the one with that? It was on Cartoon Network on Adult Swim for a little while, and it's purposely drawn bad, and it's very spastic. It's like this little perverted 8-year-old kid, and it's just like he's. Oh God, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like
Describe. I can name it for you.
The animation is very flat. It's almost like Sunday morning comics meets anime. It's kind of like the style. It's very line drawn versus textured. Like a lot of nicely drawn anime is. And the kid has he's just very spastic. It's kind of got
Shin-chan.
Yes. Fucking, I could not get into that show to save my life. It's too much going on at once, and this kid is just fucking crazy, weird, and kind of perverted, and just
Now,
not intelligent.
That was a weird one.
It's like an ADHD anime kind of
Oh
thing.
man,
that annoys me so much. It's like if you're making 15-second long cartoons, you could make them not suck. Like, it's a 15-second cartoon. 60 frames per minute, you could draw a decent number of not shitty pictures. That's just my... Oh, sorry. Okay, so do you guys consider things that are kind of drawn in the style or very clearly inspired by anime to be anime? Like...
Ruby, Avatar.
Bee and Puppy Cat is what I'm thinking
Okay.
of right now, because I fucking love Bee and Puppy Cat.
I would say no. They are not anime. In order to be anime, it does have to be made by a Japanese studio intended for Japanese audiences.
Okay.
I absolutely adore shows like Bee and Puppy Cat and Adventure Time, but no, I'm sorry. They are not considered anime. They're just
Definitely
awesome
inspired
U.S.
by it.
shows.
What about Thundercats?
Oh.
That's a U.S. show.
I know.
That is a U.S. show.
But it was you could tell it was inspired by anime,
Oh, yeah.
though.
Well, look at
Yeah.
Avatar.
That's true.
Anime itself, in fact, was originally inspired by like, Disney.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way
Since,
around. I thought Disney stole Japanese
No,
style.
no, the Japanese stole Disney style. That's why
Yep.
they have the big eyes. small
Don't you
mouth.
have to go to a special
Swear it
school
was the
to
other way.
learn how to do anime, isn't it? Aren't there special like colleges basically for doing anime? I was reading something about that.
Yeah. Well, they
Here
have
in
those
the
in
US?
Japan, yeah.
Right,
Or
in
the-
Japan.
or in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Japan,
There's-
almost certainly. I know that it's probably very similar to graphic design
Yeah.
schools here, in the fact that you won't
Yeah.
get
I
a
went to
job, and if
animation
you do, you're not
school
going to
and-
get paid very much. But
Yeah.
it's a dream a lot of people aspire for, and a lot of people will come and show me their art that they've drawn, and I say, yeah, there's certainly no reason to give up on trying to pursue that goal of being able to.
Yeah. I would say this, like, especially like if you're doing like comics of whatever type, meaning comics. I'm using this to mean static pictures. Whatever style, whether it's a manga inspired style, superhero style, a Sunday morning cartoon style. Nowadays, there's no reason to give up ever. Keep drawing if you love it, but also there's the internet. Self-publish it. Put it up as a
Exactly.
daily or weekly or try 3 times a week.
Didn't you read my failed web comic?
Yes, I did read your failed webcomic.
The Game World one?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you read it too, huh?
Yeah.
That was before we really knew each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can put it up on the web and promote it, like give out business cards at cons or something. Talk talk to people on message boards about it and stuff, and try to get people to notice your comic. And if they do notice it, it will grow because they will tell their friends about it and stuff. And you don't necessarily need to be published, like in Shonen Jump or by Marvel or DC to become a popular.
There are actually
exactly.
some
Comic writer
webcomics
anymore.
that I've seen published books of
Yeah.
at Hastings even.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the one was, but they had a book that was at Hastings and it blew my mind.
Well, like Penny Arcade has them.
I think it might have
PvP
been.
Online has them. Looking for Group.
Sluggy freelance.
Sluggy Freelance. I think. Also Least I Could Do.
That's the one I saw.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them out there that they have enough content that they're able to make books, and they're popular enough that they're able to make the published books now.
Mm-hmm.
So, for anyone out there who just, they want to become a comic book of whatever type artist, don't let it stop you. Just get out there and do it.
Share it with your friends. Buy
Yeah.
an artist alley table
Yep.
at your local convention, and have fun.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
Yep.
And if you're local, get in touch with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show.
Exactly.
Yep. So I was going to say, while I'm thinking about it, I happen to know the answer to this question, but what are the store's hours?
My store's hours? Wow, gosh. I just updated them recently here. I know weekdays, Monday through Friday, we're open from noon to 9.
Nice nerdy hours. Not
Nice
too early.
nerdy hours. Pretty much as soon as I can get there out of school, and as soon as I can stop and go to bed and start all over again for the day.
Just in time for a nice sushi lunch.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Or have someone bring it to me.
That is nice and convenient.
Well, I meant for visitors.
Yes.
But
And on Saturdays, we're open from 11 a.m. to 9:30 at the moment. and Sundays from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. So 7 days a week.
I think we need a weekend Nerd Effect field trip is what we need. Get sushi and go check out the anime.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Well, you guys can get sushi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My
No,
double
I
check.
like
What was
fish.
the location?
Oh, we are at 285 North Milwaukee Street, right next to Fujiyama Sushi, in the parking lot with Ross across from the mall.
Ross and Dress Barn and
Yep.
the usually
Right next to the eyeglass place.
The usual
I'm Art
small
Express.
cookie
I'm Art
pots.
Express.
where these
Yeah, that's
bad
it.
boys are from.
There you go.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up the show.
I didn't mean to stop the show. I just was remembering the question.
Well,
right
we're at an hour.
Okay.
But is there anything else you want to let people know before we wrap it up?
Don't feel afraid to drop by just out of curiosity. No pressure. Just look around. Come start a chat. I'd love to chat. Talk nerdy with me. Tell me about your favorite shows. I don't care if they're anime or not. Just come have fun.
Must be nice to get paid to hang out.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me miss my Game World days. I get paid to play video games. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And it isn't QA, so you don't have to run into the wall, take one step to the left, run into the wall, take one step
Yeah,
to the
no,
left,
it was
take
just
run into the
arcade.
wall.
Like, we're dead. Oh, I've got my free video game pass. That's
Yep.
fine.
Yep.
Ah, that was great.
All right. Well.
Yeah. So, thank you for coming out, Olaf.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, for the Nerd Effect podcast, we have been
Michael Morgan.
Mason, Ireland.
Nikki Prindle.
Dustin Vancour, and you have been.
Olaf of Anime House.
Yay.
Yay.
Thanks for coming in, man. And we'll catch you guys next time.